Hey guys, what's going on? It's Brandon. So I was banned from the C8 Z06 owners group ran by Clayton Smith today, and the discussion was the typical Grand Sport, except GM employees were coming out of the woodwork and basically telling me I was wrong, and then the people who potentially owe me money if the Grand Sport comes out, they were right underneath the GM employees saying, okay, pay up. GM employees are saying that you're wrong. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to get me to pay before the car is revealed. And it's a quote unquote, when there's multiple people involved in a fraud is basically what they're trying to do. They're trying to lie and say there's no Grand Sport when there is, so that I pay my bet early. That's called conspiracy. Okay, now I'm not trying to charge anybody with conspiracy or whatever. I'm just simply saying that's what that is. That's what that word means. Okay, so basically what happened was a lady by the name of Wendy Miller, I believe is her last name, who works at for GM. She comes in and starts making these comments, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, this lady's gonna lose her job if this stuff stands, because she's basically documenting that General Motors doesn't care about our safety, because she starts attacking my character on my rant videos when I would rant about things like the EDIF glitching or the fuel system being inadequate. And coincidentally, I went on to explain this to her, and after I explained this to her again, coincidentally on Friday, I believe it was Thursday or Friday, I think it was Friday, it was all across the stock market that General Motors stock was falling because they're under investigation from the National Highway Safety Institute, National Highway Safety Administration, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I'll put the abbreviation in the link in this video. But the point is, General Motors is under investigation because their engines randomly, the bearings go bad, the engines randomly blow, okay? The reason why these engines randomly fail, and the reason why the bearings coincidentally go bad for just who knows why, it's because the engines run lean. And when the engines run lean, they experience detonation, okay, random knock, and that detonation is what ruins the bearings. So I have fully documented this on multiple C7 Z06s. I lemon lawed car after car after car, okay, for misfires. With the fuel system, when it gets really cold outside at sea level, when you run the cars hard at wide open throttle, and people say, well, Brandon, why does it only happen to you? Most people don't drive their cars at wide open throttle very often, especially in the cold. Those who do experience the detonation more often than not, okay? And then what General Motors and different manufacturers do is they blame the spark plugs. General Motors isn't the only car company who does this. Other car companies also do the same thing. They build the fuel systems just to the ragged edge of capability. And then what happens is the detonation happens when you get into really dense air, which is cold weather at sea level, at high speeds, wide open throttle. And the engines end up going bad, or the engines end up going bad when there's voltage swings. And the reason why the manufacturers do this on purpose is because once you get out of warranty, you're more likely to have a more worn out fuel pump that can't keep pace, and also more electronic gremlins, which cause the voltage to swing down, which then causes the detonation to occur. So ironically, I could give all this evidence to the National Highway Safety Administration, whatever it's called, and they can court order, like federally order, General Motors to recall a bunch of vehicles. And instead of this Wendy Miller or any of these GM employees have the common sense to say, you know what, we probably shouldn't be crossing Brandon right now on these topics, they just continue to cross and document that they think that the whole thing's a joke. And Wendy Miller, I have all the screenshots, it's up on the Vet Titans group. She's laughing and she's like, you're hysterical, da-da-da. I said, well, saying that something's hysterical is the opposite of taking something serious. So when there's a GM customer who says that, there's a safety issue with the cars and a reliability issue with the cars, but it's more of a safety issue than anything. Because if the engine blows while you're in a curve, or the DCT fails while you're in a turn because GM uses too small of a DCT filter on purpose so the DCTs fail once they're out of warranty, okay? when you instigate these issues so that you make money on parts replacements once the cars are out of warranty, then basically what happens is, they're doing it to make money. Okay, they're doing it on purpose. But I hope you see what I'm saying. Like, sorry, I lost my train of thought where I was because there's something happened in front of me. There was a deer that ran out. But the what was I going to say? It's just, to me, it's common sense. It's like, okay, so this Wendy lady and all these different people, they're coming at me today. I'm staying very civilized. And I'm basically saying, laughing at this stuff is the opposite of taking it seriously. And you're documenting that GM employees don't take this stuff seriously when we point it out. And you're literally mocking me. And so the other thing was, this lady, this Wendy Miller, she asked Clayton Smith a couple days ago, she says, why are these posts being permitted when Brandon said he would no longer do these types of posts, which isn't true. I put up posts about Rick Conti's videos. I put up posts about Austin Speed Phenom's videos. And I was just saying, Grand Sport's coming, ZR1, they're doing two different, what do you call it? I didn't even say Grand Sport's coming. I said there's 2 different years of ZR1 experimental VINs now, which is a huge red flag. It means that there's still going to be a 2026 ZR1 being worked on that's not ready yet, which means how could it be ready for 2025 if there's 2026 ZR1 experimental VINs driving around? So I'm putting all this stuff out there, and I explained that I put up the Barrett Jackson video from yesterday, and basically what it comes down to is General Motors and their puppets, which is what I've explained all along. They work together to make sure that I don't gain traction in the Corvette community, because I can expose all these things that bring about class action for their company, and I can expose, basically, what's going on with everything. It's a big deal, guys. So, and I can, and it proves my credibility correct when this Grand Sport thing happens, if it happens. And so the people are attacking me about the Grand Sport bets, saying that I reneged on my bets when my bets have always been, that I believe that, Grand Sport's coming. Like, I don't know what else there is to try to disagree with me about. And these guys are basically calling me deadbeats. They're just attacking my character. And so first, Clayton Smith says I didn't do anything wrong. Okay, I have that documented. He tells the Wendy lady I didn't do anything wrong. So then today, she's just being obnoxious, laughing and just being ridiculously rude. And I just basically say, look, I don't know what to tell you. I'm telling you what's wrong with the cars. There's a National Highway Safety Institute investigation on General Motors now for the exact same thing that I said is wrong with the cars. And I don't think you're giving your legal team a very good leg to stand on when you're documenting, Wendy, that you don't, as a General Motors employee who's part of Team Corvette, that you don't take this stuff seriously, that you're going to laugh about it. She's putting up laughy faces when I'm saying that these things are problems and that I'm hysterical. Those are exact words. And so I have screenshots of all of it. I don't know what rule I violated. And meanwhile, okay, so here's another thing. My posts are getting censored. Now, Clayton Smith says that the posts had random keywords. So I took a screenshot of a post that was just a normal post. There was no bad words in it whatsoever. There were no insults or whatever. So I put up a screenshot about that. I said, what's the key word here that's a problem? Clayton Smith goes on to say the phrase on the ground is illegal in his group. I don't know why. So you would think, if you want to make me out to be the dummy for using the word on the ground, because I said there's cars on the ground and that my post gets banned, what he's really doing is they would go through my posts and choose 3 words that were in my post that they didn't think were in other posts, and they'd make those words illegal. They were censoring me in clever ways. So then I say, okay, well, obviously on the ground isn't a bad word. Reinstate my post. He never reinstates the post. Guys, this is conspiracy. And this Wendy lady admitted that for 13 years, she has been antagonizing my posts. She admits that she's been dealing with me for 13 years. You want to know why that's important? Because that's when I used to be on Corvette Forum. So she was one of the people causing me grief on Corvette Forum. And so then today she comes through and says, oh, I'm not trying to get your stuff censored. I'm not trying to get your stuff banned. When the other day, she's clearly asking Clayton Smith, why are these posts standing? They should be taken down. So today she's a documented liar. So what did I do? I called her a documented liar. I said, you're a documented liar. Her and Darren Walters is one of the people who has a bet with me, okay, about the grain sport thing. He's saying I'm a deadbeat and that I'm reneging on my bet. The car hasn't been revealed yet. Like, it hasn't been, like, the secret hasn't been officially done to where the cars are in people's driveways and I'm either right or wrong. So what happened was General Motors was trying to scheme on a way to try to get me to lose the bet, like on a technicality, because they know that the Grand Sport's coming first. And now that I'm finally gaining traction and people are starting to see that I'm not the crazy one here, I'm the only one who knows what the hell he's talking about. These other people have no clue what they're talking about, and or they're deliberate liars. Again, Wendy Miller came in and tried to say that she's a GM employee and that I'm wrong about the Grand Sport. And then Andrew Zurek, who is friends with her on Facebook, so there's his GM employee friend, who he told him that I was wrong, okay? That's why he bet me the $1,000, is because Wendy Miller, apparently, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say she's the one who told him that I was wrong. Now she's in a spot. Because when I'm right, she looks like an idiot. And so they had to take down all these posts. Well, they couldn't just delete my posts, because the posts didn't do anything wrong. So what they've done is they've officially banned me from the group. This is the exact same thing that happened in the other Facebook groups. This is the exact same thing that happened on Corvette Forum. And what this basically does, guys, is it's like the final straw that breaks the camel's back. This forces me to prove that I'm not crazy, and I got to team up with the National Highway Institute or whatever it is and start to help these guys with their legal case to prove all this stuff, and add people like Clayton and all these other forum bosses to the class action, because it is conspiracy to conceal problems with the cars, which can get us killed in high-speed turns. It's that simple. Clayton Smith went from yesterday saying that I'm not a problem and that my posts did nothing wrong, to today saying that my posts are all wrong. And the reality is Clayton Smith was pressured by people from General Motors who realized that there's now a potential for a class action because they're under investigation from the National Highway Traffic Safety Institute within the last 48 hours, which is new. It's tanking their fucking stock, guys. See ya.